La civiltà dell'amore, fratelli e sorelle, costruite senza stancarvi mai questa civiltà. Lavorate per questo, pregate per questo, soffrite per questo.
Buonasera a tutti.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's meeting.
Dal titolo La fabbrica.
The title is The Dream Factory: How to Create a TV Series. My name is Vito, Sinopoli, editor-in-chief of Bestmovie.it. For 20 years, we have been telling about cinema and TV series. Today with us we have Luca Bernabei, Managing Director of Vide. Welcome. So Vide is 30 years old this year. And well, now I would immediately show the reel that will show you what kind of a business they have set up over the past few years.
Molti di voi avranno.
Well, I'm sure many of you recognized Doc Blanca, Don Matteo, Medici, Leonardo, I Diavoli, all these very famous TV series. So many recent success stories. I have a question for you, and this is usually the first question you ask. Well, what is the origin of your greater success? What is the intuition that made Lux Vide being created? Well, I'd like to ask if Angela is here. Angela is the guide that guided me at the exhibition. She's not here? No, she's not here. I'm sorry. Well, she's a fan of Don Matteo, you know. We do this job because we meet people like Angela. And then I will reply to your question. Well, Angela made a summary to me of Don Matteo TV series. She said, in Don Matteo, first we have mercy, and then we have redemption. She's the summary that she made, and it's true. We know that, between the minute 44 and minute 46, in every episode, Don Matteo meets the person who's guilty, and then there will be a solution. So the guilty one, and there will be an option for him instead of going to prison. So this is well, we had an intuition, of course, and just like the meeting, when the meeting was created, it was thanks to an intuition. My father, Ettore Bernabei, was a man who loved to dream. He was for many years the manager of Rai State TV, and then he thought, well, when he was 72 years old, when most of the people decided to retire, he decided that, well, he wanted to open up a TV channel or do something with the TV. He didn't have enough money, and well, he joined some businessmen, Merloni, the owners of larger companies who were very rich, and they trusted him. His dream was to have a TV series about the Bible. So when he was 72 years old, he managed to do it. He managed, even if he'd never been a producer, which I am now, even if he couldn't speak English, he managed to go to America and to sell and co-produce the TV series about the Bible. So Lux, that is Factory of Dreams. It was born thanks to the dream of a man. Well, American people have a beautiful expression. They say, a dream larger than life. So there are people who dream things that are larger than life. And I think this was the core of what then happened. It was born thanks to a man. It was well, created thanks to a man who didn't want to get rich with that. He didn't want to celebrate himself. But and he did it 30 years ago. He thought that TV needed to have good communicators, trained communicators. The television needed to have good contents. He wanted a television that could create new things, inspired by principles, not necessarily religious principles, but television that would show that there was good and bad, the man, human beings at the center of them, and human beings that would choose possibly the good, living in a created place. Well, this year, I realized that indeed it's very important to have good communication. When we make a TV series, you mentioned a few TV series earlier, not only Don Matteo, but also Blanca Doc. Well, we always wonder, and actually I always ask my collaborators, and luckily I have many collaborators now. We always ask ourselves, what is the reason why we're doing this series? When you turn on your TV, if you saw Lux TV series, you should know that there's always some content inside. It's never done only for entertainment reasons, but it's always based on a question in order to express something. I'd like to ask you, but in practical terms, what does a producer do? Well, how do you choose your projects? Based on which criteria? I guess that many people, a lot of young people come to you and they propose a concept to you, an idea. How do you choose? And also, how do you identify, how do you recognize those elements that can be successful? There's a beautiful definition of producers given by an American producer, a famous one. And he said the producer is the invisible thread that unites the pearls of a necklace. And which ones are the pearls of the necklace, the beads of the necklace? Sometimes people think that the producer is only the one that puts the money. Actually, it's not like that. Well, the producer has an idea. He wants to tell something to the people, and then he finds a pearl, the screen player, and then another pearl that is the director, and then another pearl, the technicians, and he works also on the screenplay with a screenplay writer. So, and after uniting all these pearls, this is the result that you see when you switch on your TV. And behind Matteo, Blanca, Doc, there are thousands and thousands of hours needed in order to prepare those screenplays that will then be shot on the set. My job is to look for an idea, maybe after reading a book, and then I try to make a screenplay out of it. And I find the right people that make sure that that idea becomes a film. My task is to create energy, to make sure that that product has values inside. I do believe in the responsibility of my job. There was a great philosopher, Karl Popper, 40 years ago, when nobody had the feeling, the perception of the dangers, the risks of TV. At that time, he said, in order to make TV, to do TV, you would need to have a license. You need to have a license. Very often, the people that do my job, they are not scared. They have no fear, no doubt, no fear of shocking the people that are on the other side of the screen. Actually, we at Lux do have this fear. So you're saying you have a responsibility? Yes, a very deep responsibility. And most of my colleagues don't feel it, don't realize it. We get into people's houses. And when we get there, the TVs get switched on. And people are not aware of it and not even aware of it. But through TV, you really change the habits of people. You change the principles, the moral of people. The television is a beautiful, very powerful tool. It's neither good or bad, but as communicators, we are the ones who convert what we are making into good or bad. So actually, television is very dangerous. I'm aware of it. I've made a living out of it, and I know how dangerous it can be for anyone. Even for the for the smartest people, it can be really very dangerous. Television might lead to very wrong behaviors. I'm going to say something very obvious, but it's much more difficult to tell the story of a marriage that works well. You know, the good is difficult to be shown and doesn't make any noise, while bad makes a lot of noise. Well, you know, of course, all marriages do have ups and downs. There are fights. It's tiring to be in a marriage. But there's also a lot of good. There's a lot of good things. But it's not easy to tell about a marriage. We always try to give hope about life, just like here. I've arrived at the meeting. You took me around. You showed me around. We went to see the exhibitions. And what do people breathe here? We breathe hope. Who gives us hope? Almost no one. If we look on the newspapers, on the news, you know, they try to steal hope away from us. And we always try to give hope to the people that watch us. My father, who was a great communicator, taught me, you know, he used to tell me something, which, again, might sound obvious, but he said, Luca, we want people to go to bed and sleep well. It's not easy. All right, now I'd like to show a short video, a clip, and then I will ask you about the origin of this intuition. And we're going to watch 3 clips. You've already talked about Don Matteo, but we're going to see it anyway. And then if you can tell us something about it. So we're going to watch the clip about Don Matteo.
Sesto comandamento.
Com'è?
Vediamo se lo sa. Sesto comandamento. Se è un prete vero dovrebbe saperlo, ma mi sa che non lo sa.
Non commettere atti impuri.
Quarto.
Onora il padre e la madre.
Ha tirato a indovinare. Nono.
Non desiderare la donna d'altri.
Vabbè, questi comandamenti sono facili perché li fanno vedere anche nei film. Allora, e quando Giuseppe andò con Maria... venivano Giuseppe e Maria, andarono, cioè venivano... Questa non me la ricordo manco io.
È finito l'interrogatorio?
Veramente non è ancora cominciato.
Beh, devo dire che anche questo...
Well, let me say that, well, how many years have you been going ahead with Don Matteo? Well, 22 years. Well, this new introduction with the character Raoul Bova is new, so keeping updated TV series. How can you do that? I know you have many characters that you can rely on, but you need something more, maybe. Well, behind the looks, there are a lot of people. My father had this idea to train and to educate communicators. Popper, who was a philosopher, said that you need a license to make TV. And my father said we need to educate and train those people that need to work in TV. So there are tens of screenplay writers that basically develop the scripts of these TV series, which are very funny, but there's always something behind that. Then there are directors. We have real studios, where we develop these works. We have people working to set and to determine everything. Also behind the colors that you see, there is a huge work in order to develop a feeling on the audience. So we shouldn't take for granted that people want to watch our TV series. There may be the risk that people after 22 years may say, well, stop watching Don Matteo. And that's what we told Raoul Bova as well. So introducing Raoul Bova in Don Matteo has not been easy. A very important and well-known character like Raoul Bova coming to do Don Matteo. And if Don Matteo becomes no longer successful, it means that he is the problem. So Raoul Bova has been very brave, but on the other side, Raoul Bova was, who is a very honest person, was starting asking himself some questions, and Don Matteo was actually the answer to some of his questions. And when he told me this situation now, at that time, and now he's working on a TV series for Channel 5, which is called Buongiorno Mamma, which is a TV series based on very strong concepts on the end of life. And I understood he had some question within himself, and I asked him, would you like to be a priest? Would you play the role of a priest in a TV series? And suddenly he answered, why not? I'm interested in these topics. So I proposed him to become Don Matteo, and he said yes. And It's been like when I asked Elena Sofia Ricci if she wanted to play the role of a sister in Dio ci aiuti, and she said yes. So that's the role of a director, of a producer, to understand what the character in front of you actually feels. And we have been able to bring him on that TV set, and he asked me for something. He said, I will do that just if Terence hugs me and tells me, you will be the next Don Matteo. Well, I said, this will never happen. How can we ask to the king to leave his chapter to someone else? And Terence actually did that in a very deep way. So this shows that these stories go beyond ourselves. So we are all part of a mechanism, of a system. I'd like now to show a second video on another very successful TV series, Doc.
Perché hai deciso di fare il medico, Marco?
Perché sto bene col bianco. Che domande sono, Andrea?
Dimmi perché hai deciso di fare il medico. Per compiacere i parenti, ottenere il massimo dei risultati.
Senti, le cose sono un po' più complicate adesso.
Non è così. Sono le stesse dai tempi di Ippocrate. Ci siamo noi. E c'è quella grandissima stronza della morte. Ma ci sono giornate come questa dove sembra inarrestabile, lo so. Ma non è così perché ci siamo noi. Tutti i libri che abbiamo letto, tutto lo studio, la pratica, la teoria, è servito tutto a guardarle in faccia e dirle non oggi. E non importa quanto siano disperate le condizioni di un paziente, non oggi. Non importa se neanche i pazienti ci credono più. Non oggi. Qualcuno di noi cederà, altri reggeranno bene la pressione, ma non importa. Noi oggi dobbiamo aiutarci. Qualunque cosa si debba fare, qualunque sia la vita che aspetterà i pazienti da oggi in poi, voi dovete ricordarvi sempre perché siamo qui. Per metterci in mezzo tra i pazienti e la stronza. Questo è essere medici.
Scusate, sono arrivate altre 4 ambulanze.
Al lavoro.
Devo dire che
Let me say that when I heard that you decided to shoot Doc, I was kind of doubtful because, well, a medical drama, considering that we have so many American medical dramas which are very successful, with my wife, we love it. I thought, are they really certain about this choice? And this video that you decided to show here at the meeting is actually perfectly showing what you said so far, that there is this desire to show something good. And of course, this brings some questions about our life, to which we are not always able to provide some answers, but we can try. We can share, we can embrace. So how did you get this idea, which is based on a real story? So it's the result of something that you just mentioned. The manager for the Rai TV series told us that in Italy we don't have an Italian medical drama, and maybe you are the only one that can do that. And we were kind of afraid and concerned about making mistakes, so we looked for some kind of inspiration, and we found a wonderful book, We really looked and searched for that book, and the book tells the story of a very good doctor, manager of the emergency, having an accident, hitting his head. He stayed in coma for 6 hours, only 6 hours, and when he woke up, he had his wife and his children surrounding him, and he didn't recognize his children. He lost the memory of the last 12 years, and he never recovered from that. And I thought this was the right inspiration we were looking for, because you see, in just a second, in just a moment, I told you a TV series, and the TV series, in order to be successful, shall be told very quickly. With this TV series, we had to make a real fight. We had to talk about a real fight, because according to the law, he was no longer allowed to be a doctor, while he actually went back to study, to take exams. This was a very good, wonderful story, a story of redemption. So what did we do during these years? Well, I wanted to develop furthermore what my father taught me, so to make TV for people, to share good and not bad and evil. Over the last 30 years, we kept on talking stories of heroes. And I'm not talking about superheroes here, but I'm talking about heroes like this doctor, Dante, the people that are fighting every day during their everyday life, their battles. So you can be a saint wherever you are. Either you are a lawyer, a nurse, or a bus driver. If you are doing well your job, if you are working hard despite being tired, despite the challenges, if you're doing that every day, you can change the world. And these are the stories that we kept on talking for 30 years, and people were having fun at us because they told us that we kept on talking about stories about priests, sisters, and we only talked about good things, while actually over these years, as you know, TV have been showing also anti-heroes, so basically negative heroes, and somehow we were against this trend. We were going in the opposite direction, let's say. And what's happening now, it is that everyone is looking for heroes. People understood that people are tired of only seeing bad and evil. Well, of course, we know that bad things are fascinating, appealing, because each one of us, when we will walk on the road, if we see an open window, we are curious to look inside that window, because we are curious to try to enter into that life. But it's more challenging and harder to have a positive curiosity, while over these years we kept on always talking positive stories, and people now are looking for that. I have a friend of mine who is a very good businessman making excellent chocolate, and he used to tell me, I would like to write a book. Well, again, he is a very good manager, and I want to tell people that the gospel is good, is something good, because this is the best school of life I've ever known. And again, he is a very good manager. He attended the most important schools in the world. And it's true, because there's no longer people telling us that the good is what we shall aim at, and the gospel could be a good example. There is this trend to make fun of the others, and I think we have been victims of this approach as well. I think that we can witness that, and you are all witnessing that. This place is it's a kind of a cathedral. telling this. We are in the middle of Rimini, and this cathedral shows how we can every day provide a smile as a gift. And each one of us can witness extraordinary stories. Here within the audience, there is my wife, who didn't want to have any children, and now we have 6 children. So she was more focused on her career, but then we decided to have 6 children. She also had a career. She's a university professor, and she has been my teacher because I am the man that I am because of her, thanks to her, and thanks to my children as well. And then I had another important teacher. Again, it was my father. I learned a lot from him. I worked with him for 30 years. And as a manager, he never made any choice for himself. He always made all the choices for the others. So these are the Lux TV series. We are always looking for something for the others. And the choices that he never made for himself, but always for the others, made Lux the biggest producing company in Italy. I'd like to ask you another question. For years, people thought that you were a kind of a bigot company. And during the last years, the cinema has always been the main protagonist, while TV series and fictions have always been kind of a second level TV approach. While over the last decade, there's been a huge revolution, and this process speeded up with the pandemic, and also with the introduction of other main stakeholders like Amazon and Netflix and so on. And there is a real love from the audience towards these TV series, and cinema now seems to be something too focused and concentrated just on a couple of hours. What do you think about the TV series? And what do you think that people actually discovered on this phenomenon, apart from having a wider range of choices and also the pandemic that allowed people to have more time to spend on watching this series? Well, I think that people discovered the person, the human being, because the TV series are longer and they allow you to go deeper into details. And that's the real secret. So you enter into the life of the characters. They see how they are living. You think they are like you. You see them during their everyday life, day after day, for many days. And eventually, we need to become kind of friends of the characters. And that's, in my opinion, the real secret. So the complex aspect of telling the stories. The possibility to follow them, to know the background of the life of so many different people. So basically, in order to go deeper into these characters, and it's definitely more challenging to do that in just a couple of hours. So people want to go deeper and to be more inside the characters. And somehow you become kind of familiar with these characters, even because there is the first season, second season, third season, and so on. Well, more step by step, you get to know the characters in details. And we as well, while we write the story of those characters, we learn how to play in order to bring people inside these details and to play this game, because the storytelling is a very complex form of art. When I tell the story of a character the way people are expecting it, well, after that, people will no longer watch at what follows. It's the same phenomenon that you asked me before. How have you been able to have the audience keeping on following and watching Don Matteo for 13 seasons? Well, every time we look for something new, we introduce a new character, we try to find something unexpected. We don't want the TV series to become older. And we always try to have our audience smiling and having fun. We always look for a different crime in order to have the audience trying to guess who the guilty is. And that's the secret, in my opinion, for each TV series. That's to say, never to stop looking for something new, for strong and powerful character that can bring and convey strong concepts. These concepts may be good or bad. Of course, you can have the criminal boss or good characters. For example, with I Diavoli, you also have the bad, the evil, which is involving all a series of modern concepts, so economics, finance, and so on. Well, an interesting aspect is that your father had this very good idea starting from the Bible, but the Bible, not only it's been a very huge series with huge concepts and a real meaning, it's also been a multinational production with many countries of the world. So in your DNA, there is also the international approach. I just named I Diavoli, but also I Medici. So this this ability to develop universal stories. How will you develop that furthermore? Do you have new projects? And can you share with us some information about that?
Well, you know, Luca made a few series about I Medici, about the Renaissance, and also Leonardo. Why did you want to do that? Because, well, we, the Italians, are too humble. And we're very good at being too humble. Instead, well, you know, this country has more than 50% of the cultural heritage of the world, historical, environmental, cultural heritage of the world. This country is the country where the Renaissance was born. In the 15th century, a family started financing the arts, culture, and as a consequence, Leonardo, thanks to that, Leonardo, Botticelli, Michelangelo were discovered. And in a part of Italy, in a little part of Italy, a huge amount of richness and culture was developed. Leonardo with the airplane, the submarine at the end of the 15th century. He also painted the Gioconda. And so this is the Cenacle. Well, you know, great masters, great human beings that we want to show to the world. The world likes Italy. Maybe Italian people don't like themselves, but the world likes Italy, loves Italy. And then I Diavoli, the other TV series, is about finance. It's shown on Sky. And we wanted to show that the economic logics go beyond the logic of individual countries. It's actually the economy that decides, makes decisions for countries. So countries make decisions based on the economy, and we did it with well, Alessandro Borghi. And the actor that everybody knows thanks to Grey's Anatomy. So Luca is about that. Those people who watch our TV shows will also understand something about the economy, about life, about the arts. We always try to send a message in a simple way. Well, I'd like to ask to show, well, we're going now to watch the last video.
La vita è una figata. Non avere paura del buio. Blanca Ferrando, sono qui per lo stage da consulente delle forze dell'ordine.
Ho un agente in maternità, le altre malattie, la questura che mi manda questa...
Cieca. Può dirlo, non è un'offesa.
Sono un'esperta di decodage. Analizzo le registrazioni. Tipico lavoro da ciechi.
Brava, portala via. Questo non è il suo posto.
E qual è il suo posto?
Sento dei passi, c'è qualcuno, non sei solo.
Allora, seguire dei casi, sbobinando delle cassette da casa, non è la stessa cosa che facciamo noi!
Sono cieca, non sorda.
Perché la polizia?
Per mia sorella. È stata uccisa.
Per me e per te le apparenze non contano. Noi ci fidiamo di altre sensazioni, ci facciamo guidare da quelle.
Riprovaci. Riprovaci con me. Non dimenticarti cosa sei. Non cieca. Viva.
Your mind.
Vabbè, ti confermo.
Well, I'd like to confess something to you. After telling you what I thought about Doc, when you told me that you would make a series about a blind policewoman, I thought, well, he's totally crazy. After 30 years, he has now gone crazy. But instead, I watched the TV series and I found it very modern. You know, this topic of the handicap, of the disability. You know, it's very interesting. The narration and the story is very dramatic, but it's very interesting. And I must say that also in this TV series, the music is a very important element. It's a fundamental component. I'd like to ask you, how did you get this idea? And also, can you tell me about music and also about the disability? The idea was born out of a beautiful book that tells the story of a blind detective woman. We were impressed by that. We really enjoyed it, liked it. We always look for new stories in order to tell about the diversity. And probably until a few years ago, this TV series wouldn't have been possible. And so we tried to do something different. When I started thinking about this series, have you seen how many colors there are? It's full of colors. When we work on a series, and this was a series dedicated to a theme because it's about disabilities. We try to collect, well, to listen to people and to collect stories. We talked to the most famous blind person in the world, Andrea Bocelli, and he said, people think that I see black. It's not true. I see in colors. I see lots of colors. Maybe my colors are totally mismatched or wrong, but I see in colors. So we were, well, impressed by this, and this is why we made this series with lots of colors. Blanca imagines the world full of colors. She imagines a cargo ship pink. Maybe it's wrong, but, well, this is how she sees the world. And so We tried to show that also in disabilities there's hope, even with disabilities. Why? What is the main concept, the deeper concept of Blanca? We are all a bit disabled. Each one of us, in the morning when we wake up, each one of us, we take our invisible wheelchair, we get on it, and we go out of our house. Each one of us has some suffering. Each one of us has a weakness, something we fight for, we fight with. Somebody hides it, somebody doesn't hide it. And so we tried to show the story of a person, a woman, that faces her weakness and she fights it. What happens to a blind person? What happens to a person that doesn't see? All the other senses are very sensible. Like they can't see, but they can hear very well. They can feel very well. Now, this is what allows Blanca to do her job very well. If she, when she puts the headset on, she hears very well and she understands a lot more. So it was beautiful to use music, funky music. This is a very funky TV series. There's a lot of funky music characterizing it. So we told about the colors, the life, and the sound. We spent a lot of money for the soundtrack, for the music of this TV series. This series is dedicated to life. And an anthem to life. So Blanca is like a powerful hero. She has a superpower. Well, when probably people would think that she has no power since she can't see, but actually she is a superhero. She is very powerful. This is the story of each one of us. Every day we have to fight our weaknesses. I really love this TV series, Blanca. It was a very successful TV series, just like Doc. Doc was, is actually the most successful TV series in the last 15 years. So the gospel is something good. You can tell great stories by, which are very touching, very moving. And of course, it took us 30 years to get experience, to acquire experience. We also failed sometimes. And but it happened thanks to the dreams of my father. And also, you need to be able to wait. What do you mean? You know. Well, the person, the man that, Father Luigi Giussani, one day, because I read something about him. A young boy, asked him a question about dreams one day, and he said, I don't like dreams too much. I like wait more. I like waiting, because when you wait, you acquire data, information, certainty. And I think at the end of the day, he was right. We had to wait. We had to be patient. We had to wait for this kind of TV that we make, which might seem obvious sometimes. But we were able to wait, and we were able to wait until people understood Don Matteo, and now people are waiting for our TV series. They really expect a lot from them, and they keep on waiting for our TV series. We've been consistent. We have our own editorial line, consistency. We make products for families, and nowadays almost no one makes them anymore, not even Disney. They don't make products for families anymore. Well, who knows what the founder of Disney would say if he could express his mind about today's Disney products. But those who watch our products, it could be children, young couples, ladies, 80-year-old ladies. We try to address families. We make products for families. So, as far as I understand, making a high-quality TV series is quite complex. So an intuition is not enough, as you said. Well, it requires thousands of hours of work. You have to work with a team. You have to collaborate. But the world nowadays around us says that you have to be an individual. As an individual, you need to have an intuition. You have to be good as an individual. Is it so difficult to work as a team for looks? What is your work method? What is the work method that you have used in the past 30 years? You have young people working with you. You also have much more experienced people. How do you make it happen? Well, first of all, you need to be professionals. We only have the best ones working with us. Because, well, we need this kind of people working with us and working in this field. Only the best ones. The best ones are the ones who are determined, who are willing to do something beautiful. You also have to know what beautiful means. We want to have harmony. We want to have something very harmonious. We try to be very strong as a team. We want to have a strong team working together in order to do something just like here. At the meeting, you have 3,000 volunteers working together in order to do this beautiful meeting. And this is what we always try to have. We always have work teams working on a TV series. We have, well, the director, the producer, the screenwriter. We sit down at a table and we try and understand how to grab people's attention, how we can make something interesting for people, something that catches people's attention. We are very passionate, and soon we will have a new TV series coming out on Channel 5. Thank you for this, for this news. It's titled Viola come il mare with Francesca Chillemi and Jamyama, a Turkish actor. The story is about a journalist who works in Palermo. And we wanted to show how beautiful Palermo is in Sicily. Palermo is, well, you see, we have people from Palermo here. Palermo is a beautiful city. We will not talk about mafia, though, because we've had enough of Sicily being described as the capital of mafia. There are many more things, many beautiful things about Sicily. So we want to show the beautiful side of Sicily because we want to give hope to people. If you watch Viola come il mare, you will find something that gives you hope. It will make you smile. So this is our mission, my father's mission, making products for families, showing something beautiful, and also showing that everybody can make it. Each one of us has the possibility to make something good in his or her life. You know, in our own world, in our own life. All right, we are at the end of this meeting. I'd like to thank you so much for your very sincere words. And I'd like to thank you also for what your father did. And also thank you for telling about your father. And your father is what inspired you when you created your business. And thanks to your father, also thanks to your father, you are a good man that has been able to use your talent in order to continue along your father's path. But, for example, when you said that Blanca is a TV series about diversity, so thank you for showing this side of the world, this side of reality. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Thank you. A big round of applause to you.
No, permettetemi di dedicare questo meraviglioso applauso.
Thank you for this wonderful applause, and I will never forget that. And once again, I would like to dedicate that to my father, Ettore, who is watching us from the heaven right now. He really loved life. He never stopped dreaming till the day he passed away when he was 95 years old, and he conveyed to me this willingness to dream about impossible things. And you will soon see something new on Amazon or Netflix. We shall never, ever stop dreaming. And once again, thank you for this wonderful evening that I will remember forever. I really felt all of you close to me and doing my job in order to try to bring something good in all your families and all your houses. And I hope I will always be able to do that.
Proprio per
the very last 30 seconds, just to add that also this event has been possible within the context of the meeting. The meeting, as you all know, the meeting is something which is possible thanks to donations. So please consider the possibility to go to the Donate Now desks and allow the meeting to keep on existing and invite very important guests like Luca. I wish you a good evening.
La civiltà dell'amore, fratelli e sorelle, costruite senza stancarvi mai questa civiltà. Lavorate per questo, pregate per questo, soffrite per questo.